Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a really fun technique for making an Agamograph. Hold on. Yeah, it's called an Agamograph. Now, you will probably have seen some of these around, but I'll show you what equipment I've got. That pen's got nothing to do with it. I'm going to be using a pencil, one of my microns. I'm going to use a thick micron today for this. It's a 12. I've got a piece of A4 printer paper. This is split into 12 equally spaced columns, and the lines are very faint on this. And then I've got another piece of printer paper with darker lines. I'm also going to need a Pritt stick or a glue stick, which seems to have escaped from my desk, but I'll find one. So I don't know whether to show you now what the end result's going to look like or make you wait. I'm going to show you one I've done earlier. This one I did with 10 sections, so I had 10 columns instead of 12. And here it is. Pretty wild, huh? I might take that bit out so you don't actually see the result until the end. So I just created this grid on Word. I inserted a table, made it equally spaced with 12 columns. You can do more columns if you want. I would do more columns if I was using A3 paper. And obviously you can measure and print this out. Measure and draw it out. You don't need to do it on a printer. I'm going to do a line halfway down. So this side is going to have one picture and this side is going to have another. And as you probably know, if you've been watching for any time, I'm a girl guider. So I'm a brownie leader and I like to do things for the brownies. So this is going to be one of our Christmas activities this year. So that's my midline. With this picture, I am not going to cross over onto this side. And with this picture, I'm not going to cross over onto this side. Now, because it's Christmas, I will show you with just two very simple drawings. I'm going to do them in pencil first because I don't trust myself. I do trust myself, but when I do these, I tend to get a little bit carried away. So this is going to be a hat. And already you can see that I'm in danger of going outside this line. But in fact, it doesn't really matter. That's just there for a guide. And we will do a ribbon. One of the other good things about doing this in pencil is that you can rub out any errors that you make and you can change your lines as you're going around when you're using your other pen. So our snowman is gonna be aware of my midline. And then they need a scarf, don't they? Every snowman needs a scarf. And then they need two eyes, they need a carrot for their nose, and they need a smile, which we'll put in a minute. What else do they need? They need arms. and I'll make this one coming down this way. I've got to not go over this line though. Let's make it go up as well. For the purposes of this, we will leave it like that. I hope you can see that. So we'll just take our, okay, this is a chunky one. You can, of course, just go straight in and draw this. You don't have to do it in pencil. I just like the comfort of doing it in pencil. Yeah, make those a little bit more wiggly as well. My lines are a bit too straight there for twigs. And obviously you can add little bits coming out of the end of them. Again, I should have done a little bit more nubbly bubblies on there. Never mind. So that's the snowman. I don't think I'm going to do any more to him. I think I'm quite happy with that. Let's put my lid back on there. On the other side, what shall we do? Of course, these don't have to be Christmas themed. I'm doing them Christmas themed because I'm doing them for the brownies. So on this side, oh, I'm going to draw a reindeer. So we need some little ears. I've started a bit low down. I've made the head too big. Hold on. There we go. Obviously you can put more detail into these if you wish. The next bit is to, once your ink is dry, is to rub out all your pencil lines. And then you're going to need a pair of scissors and your glue stick. So I'll come back when I've done this and got the other supplies. Okay, so I've got my glue stick, my scissors, and what we do is we cut the picture into strips along these faint lines. You don't have to be super accurate, but try to be as accurate as you can be. Don't get the bits muddled up either. It's important to keep them in order. If you've got a paper trimmer, you can also obviously use one of those as well, although your cutting won't necessarily be 100% accurate depending on your trimmer. You can also do this by using tracing paper. Lots of different ways, lots of different possibilities. If you're working with very young children, the colouring can get confusing for them. So what you can do is photocopy this sheet as it is before you cut it up, get them to colour it in, and then get them to do the cutting and sticking. So lots of different possibilities with this. Right, I'm going to swap my papers around now. So we've got our reindeer. The papers don't want to move on this desk. We've got our reindeer picture over on this side, we've got our snowman picture on this side, and we've got our new sheet of paper here. So what we're going to do is stick these strips into the strips that are already there. And one of the reasons for doing the outline very faintly. Oh, I don't think this is the same grid. Let me just check. Oh, it'll do. I did have to redo the faint grid, so maybe I changed it slightly. Anyway, you get your Pritt stick, and you need a whole load of glue for this, because what you're going to do is stick these down, alternating snowman and reindeer in the strips. So we've got one snowman, now we get the first reindeer bit. And once it's all stuck down, you're going to photocopy it want to line up those top and bottom lines on our thing. You can also use double-sided tape. That wouldn't make it go wrinkly. That was probably the better option. And remember, it's the lines we're matching up, not the lines on the picture. So what was that? That was a snowman. Now a reindeer. And then odd things like that will happen. So that's ended up nearly matching perfectly. And you saw me drop both those freehand. So reindeer, snowman. Oh wow, look, that's lining up. That's nearly lining up. So snowman, reindeer. That's lined up as well. That's nearly lined up. So what was that? Reindeer, snowman. Reindeer. Oh, I meant to do some fancy pattern on the snowman's scarf. Oh well, never mind. People can do that when they're colouring in if they want. So reindeer, snowman. Reindeer. You can also stick these down onto plain paper. You don't actually need the grid. I just had it handy. So reindeer, snowman. Reindeer. So if you had got the people to colour it in before you cut it up, they are now ready to do the last stage. What I'm going to do is, put this to one side, I'm just going to go and take this to my photocopier and I'm going to photocopy it. So here's my original, which is a bit wrinkly because of the glue, and here's my photocopied version. What I need now, because I'm going to use this with the girls, I just want to make these lines a little bit darker. They have come up on the when I've copied it, but I just want to make them a bit darker so the girls know where they're going to do the last step. I'm not going to use my really thick pen for this. If you were a whiz in Photoshop and all that malarkey, then you can obviously scan this into Photoshop and do whatever you have to do in there. Which would also include getting rid of any extra lines that you didn't want or anything like that. Of course, you can always do this as a digital drawing as well and do the whole thing that way. Oh, I've just realised I need to go much further up on that line because we've got the hat bit that went over. Last one. You can draw these lines on that master one as well before you photocopy it if you want to. Oh, the line's not quite in the right place. And so, part of this foot is missing, look. It's chopped off when it was in the photocopier. So what you do next is you fan fold it. So you would give the people this to colour in, and you'd have to tell them to colour every other one as if it's the same object, or you can do the folding first. Now it is important to fold it as accurately as you can along the lines, but what you'll notice if you're doing this with younger children, they are not so good at folding on the lines. And what you can do is just fold them all in the same direction and then reverse the fold. You can also score your paper before you fold. I'm finding it easier to, because those lines I drew in pen, the paper is actually wanting to fold naturally along those anyway. So I'm just going to go with that and then I'll reverse the folds. And then we'll have our Agamograph. Right, so we do need it to fold in fan shape. Are you ready for this? So when you look at it from one direction, you have got your reindeer, and when you look at it from the other direction, you've got your snowman. Like that. Isn't that just cool? Snowman, reindeer, snowman, reindeer. You actually stand them up and you can see them from that direction. But if you glue these two pieces down into a card, once it's been coloured in, then people can see the reindeer or the snowman. So there we have it. That's your Agamographs and how to make them. I hope you've enjoyed that video. So this was the snowman and the reindeer. This one was the snowman, and just fold this back up so you can see this one. You may have already guessed who it was. Santa. Snowman. So let me know if you give any of these a go, and I'll see you again soon for another video. Bye now.